So let's just keep on going here. And we're going to look at our rectangular prism on the right. And we're going to look at all the different parts of it. So vertices. Well, we said the vertices are those corners, those points where edges meet, where at least three faces meet. And those are all these sharp points. So we've got here, 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 and here. We've got 6 vertices for this rectangular prism, and they are A, B, C, D, E, and F. Okay, each one of these being a separate point. The lateral faces are A, B, E, F, C, B, E, D, and the one on the back, A, C, D, F. The bases are these 2 triangles on the top and the bottom. So the bases would be triangle ABC and triangle DEF. The lateral edges, well, these are the lateral faces, the ones that are here, the ones that are on the sides, would be AF, BE, and CD. These are line segments, remember. So we're going to draw them as line segments. Put a line segment symbol on top of each of them. The base edges, well, that would be these 3 and these 3. So that would be AC, CB, and BA. AC, CB, and BA. That would be one set of base edges. And then the other set would be DE, EF, FD. Okay, all those 6 line segments are base edges. The number of faces would be, well, there were 2 bases, and then there were 3 lateral faces, but the bases are faces as well. They're just a specific type of face, we call it a base, but the total number of faces is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the total number of edges, well, we had the 3 lateral up and down edges, 1, 2, 3, and then we had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there are a total of 9 edges. And we already said the name of the 3D figure is a whoa! I hope you caught that. Triangular prism. Oh, gee, even I can make a mistake, right? Triangular prism. So sorry about that, but I hope some of you were wondering, right? We had gone over triangular prisms up here, and that's a triangle. The bases are triangles. So I just made that mistake on purpose, didn't I? Sure. Okay, let's move on, and let's take a look at questions 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. And this is going to require us to draw some figures. So, how many lateral edges does a prism have if the base of the prism is an n-gon? Well, n-gon is just a general term for a polygon. Okay, so that means that it could have any number of sides, and we already said that the base of a prism can have any number of sides. But how do the number of sides of the base relate to the lateral edges? Well, here there's 3 sides to the bases, and we've got 3 lateral edges. If we went ahead and we try to draw let's draw a rectangular prism. I'm going to try to do my best artistically to draw a rectangular prism. Okay, I hope you can see that it's got sides coming down like that. We've got a rectangle as one base, a rectangle as another base, and then how many lateral edges does it have? It has one there, one there, one there, and one there. So a fourgon, or a rectangle, rectangular prism has 4 lateral edges. We just saw up here that a three-gon or a triangle has 3 lateral edges. What do you think a pentagon, a pentagonal prism is going to have? Let's go ahead and let's draw a pentagon on the top, and then let's make a prism out of it. Kind of draw the dotted lines in the back where we can't see it. But hopefully you can kind of figure out this is supposed to be a 5-sided figure on top and a congruent 5-sided figure on the bottom. And then we're going to look at the lateral edges, which would be here, here, here. These are the 3 lateral edges we can see. And then there are the 2 in the back that we can't quite see. So a pentagonal prism has 5 lateral edges. So how many lateral edges does a prism have if the base of the prism is an n-gon? Well, if it's a 3-gon, it has 3. A 4-gon, it has 4. A 5-gon, it has 5. So if it's an n-gon, it has n. Okay, and how many base edges does a prism have if the base of the prism is an n-gon? Well, let's take a look. Here, the base is triangular, but how many base edges does it have? Well, it's got 2 bases. Remember, the definition of a prism is that it's a polyhedra with 2 congruent polygonal bases. So you've got the 3 edges from one triangle and then the 3 edges from the other. So it's actually going to be twice the number of edges in the n-gon. Take a look at the rectangular prism down here. You've got rectangle and rectangle, and the number of base edges is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's twice 4, and for a polygon, for a pentagon, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for an n-gon, for a triangular prism, there were 6 base edges. For a rectangular prism, there were 8 base edges. For a pentagonal prism, there are 10. So for an n-gon, there's 2n base edges. So that takes care of some of these prism issues. Well, let's go on to pyramid. The next question is, how many vertices does a pyramid have if the base of the pyramid is an n-gon? Well, let's think about that. So let's say the base of the pyramid's a triangle, a 3-gon. Let's draw the pyramid for a triangle at the base. Well, we sometimes call that a tetrahedron. Okay, this is what it would look like. It's also like a pyramid, but if you notice, it only has 3 sides for the base at the bottom. And then there's only 3 lateral faces. So how many vertices does this 3-gon pyramid have? Well, you count it with me. There's the 1 at the apex, and then there's 1 each at one of the vertices of the n-gon. So there's 4. There are 4 vertices for a 3-gon pyramid. Well, let's look at a 4-gon pyramid. Let's take a look at a pyramid that has got a rectangle, let's say, or a square at its base. Let's try to draw the square one. Well, actually, we have it right up here. I don't even have to worry about my artwork. We've got one right over here in B. Let's count the number of vertices in B. You can see there's 1 corner or vertex there, 1 over there, 1 over there, and 1 over there, but we also have to count the apex. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, corresponding to the 4 vertices of the polygon at the base, plus the 1 at the apex. So for a 4-gon, we just found out that there are 5 vertices. I hope you see the pattern that we're starting to develop here. So a 3-gon had 4 vertices. A 4-gon has 5 vertices. And let's just try to Oh, we don't have to worry about drawing it. Let's turn our paper over because we've got a nice figure on the other side, which was figure 2. We already said that figure 2 was a 5-gon pyramid. So we've got a pentagon at the base, and then it's a pyramid. So let's count the number of vertices here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus the one at the apex makes 6. Okay, so let's go back to our little notes that we're taking here. A 3-gon pyramid had 4 vertices. A 4-gon had 5, and we just saw that a 5-gon pyramid has 6 vertices. So what do you think the pattern is? If it was an n-gon pyramid, these always seem to be one greater, right? The 3-gon pyramid had 4, 4-gon had 5, 5-gon had 6, so an n-gon would have n plus 1 vertices. Okay, it's always one more than the number of gon. So let's go back to this and let us put that in. So, how many vertices does a pyramid have? If the base of the pyramid is an n-gon, the answer is n plus 1. And, well, here's another question. How many edges does the pyramid have if the base is an n-gon? So let's go back and let's count edges. At least we've drawn these already. Here's a 3-gon pyramid. Let's count the number of edges. 1, 2, 3, and then we've got the base, 4, 5, 6. Okay, again, we've got the lateral edges, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6. So a 3-gon pyramid, we said had 4 vertices, but it also has, let's look at a number of edges, and let's make a little table of that. It has 6 edges. Let's go to a 4-gon, and let's count the number of edges in a 4-gon pyramid. Well, let's go back to our rectangular pyramid here, and let's count the number of edges. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, which are at the bottom, but then we've got another 4 which join each of those points to the apex point. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 edges on the bottom, and then from the lateral edges we've got 5, 6, 7, and don't forget the one with a dotted line in the back making 8. So we have 8. So a 4-gon has 8 edges. 5-gon, well, let's go to our 5-gon picture. 5-gon picture back over here. Let's count the number of edges in our 5-gon. Well, there are the 5 edges from the pentagon itself at the bottom. At the base, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got another 5 that join each of the points of the pentagon to the apex. 6, 7, 8, 9, and then finally 10. So again, we seem to be double. Okay, and that in general, we can say that if we have an n-gon, well, if a 3-gon had 6 edges, a 4-gon had 8 edges, a 5-gon had 10 edges, an n-gon has twice as many, or 2n edges. So let's go ahead, let's put that back over here. So how many edges does a pyramid have? If the base of the pyramid is an n-gon, the answer is 2n. And finally, how many faces does a prism have? We're back to prism, by the way. So we did pyramid for a while, now we're back to prism. How many faces does a prism have if the base of the prism is an n-gon? So let's count. Let's take a look at our triangular prism. This is a 3-gon, and it has how many faces? It has the 2 bases, 1, 2, plus 3 lateral faces. So that's 5. Okay, so a 3-gon, let's make another little graph up here. A 3-gon has 5 faces. What about a 4-gon? Well, we've got, do we have one drawn out? Yes, our figure 1 was a rectangular prism. So this is a 4-gon prism. Okay, and let's see how many faces it has. Well, it has the 2 bases, 1, 2, plus the lateral faces, which are 1, 2, 3, 4. I hope you're noticing that the number of lateral faces is always the same as the number of sides of the polygon. And then on top of that, we're always adding on the 2 base faces. So that means that for a fourgon, and we're talking here about prisms, for a fourgon prism, we just saw that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. Okay. What about a pentagonal prism? Well, I kind of drew one over here. Let's take a look and let's try to count the number of faces. So each of the sides of the pentagon joins with the other side to make a face. So for example, this side of the pentagon on this part of the base joins with this part of the base, a corresponding part, to create this face. And we have 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces in total that are lateral faces, plus the 2 bases. So that means for a 5-gon prism, we have 7 faces. I hope you can see the relationship. It's always 2 more than the number of gons. The reason is those 2 extra are the bases. Okay, so that we can finish up this page by saying that how many faces does a prism have if the base of the prism is an n-gon? It's going to have n plus 2. So we're going to put n plus 2. And that finishes this page. And we've had some very interesting discussions about lateral faces, bases, vertices, edges, etc. And we will now continue this in the next lecture.